Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. I am so happy to share some energy with you today. And I wanted to get into the topic of the video, which is about you not allowing your trauma to steal your voice. Maya Angelou talks about in great detail her experience having been assaulted sexually, violently when she was a child, I believe about 7 years old. And in the aftermath of that terrible assault, she swallowed her voice. Not long after the man who assaulted her was released from jail, he was found dead. And when he was found dead, the police came to her grandmother's house and she sat on the floor with her brother. And her grandmother asked, "How did he die?" And the police officer said that he was kicked to death. Maya was in the room and she heard that. And she said in that moment, she understood that her voice was powerful. And then in the power of her voice, she could take a man's life, and that terrified her. She could take a man's life just with her voice. She wanted different, and so she swallowed her voice. Her grandmother, in the years that passed, would do her hair, greasing her scalp and scratching it and combing it, a rite of passage, a ritual in the Black community, something that our mothers and fathers, as we're seeing videos going viral lately, do. It's a form of nurturing and self-care. And in those moments, her grandmother would speak life over her with her powerful words and her understanding of words. And she would speak like a life over her, and she would tell her, "Daughter, I know when the good Lord gets ready, he's going to turn you into a preacher with this voice." It took Maya many years to find her voice, but when she did, she never stopped speaking. She never stopped educating us. And she never stopped pouring out, even from that place, even after she transmuted the pain of the trauma into gold, quite literally a gold mine, an incredible life that spanned continents and princes and interracial relationships and acting and singing. And she did all of this without being conventional because she found her unique and powerful voice. In her poem Phenomenal Woman, she says, "Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not built or suit to fit a fashion model size. And when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's in the reach of my hands. It's in the span of my hips. It's in the smile on my smile. It's in the something on my lips." I've lost it, y'all. I almost had it because I'm a woman. A phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. Maya used her words to enhance her sex appeal. She used her words to enhance her womanhood. She used her words for freedom fighting. She used her words for inclusion. She used her words alongside Martin Luther King. She used her words as she sang while people played the blues. She used her words and her experiences to heal millions, I would guesstimate, of women. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's a book my mother thrust into my hands when I but was a child, 7 myself, 7 or 8. Heavy subject matter, but she knew that I could relate. And so I read. I consumed the words that Maya allowed to leave her body once she found her spine and started to speak her truth. Maya helped me to save my life. She taught me about words. She taught me about connections, and she taught me about not being stuck in your trauma. That there is a time when you sit there And maybe you're passive and you allow things to happen. But if you're on this empath journey, after we've sat there, we now evolve. And that means telling your truth in whatever way for the highest good of the collective you can. Do not allow someone who has traumatized you, hurt you, betrayed you, lied to you, cheated on you, fill in the blank. Do not allow someone to take your voice. I counsel people every day. I go to therapy myself, and the themes that we're all working through is about having our own back. It's about speaking up. It's about being assertive. Specifically, themes that I work through on my journey as an empath. Disentangling codependent enmeshments and also figuring out where I begin and someone else ends. So a lot of work there to be done when you're doing that, but it's something that can be done. You can begin to unpack those years or the trauma or the moments or the disrespect. You can begin to live in a space, guys, where your voice is not a threat. I've had moments in my life where even me chattering or prattling to myself was a threat and an infringement. And I found myself in relationships with people that mirrored my father, and silence was had if he entered a room and he wanted silence. And so I was conditioned, prime condition. But now I'm out of being a victim about that and owning my part and the part that I played. And the part that I played is one where I allowed things to happen. And on this channel, we're going to talk about those things because I have my voice. Sometimes we give that away, and that's okay. After we've survived the thing we need to survive and we coped in the ways we needed to cope, you'll find that it comes back to you. The opposite effect of Ariel in The Little Mermaid when she gives her voice to Ursula, lifting it up, you know? Except we get it back once we start to integrate and heal from the trauma. Do not let trauma steal your voice. Staying stuck in a situation mentally is absolutely a choice. It's an Eight of Swords choice, if you know what I'm talking about. There is always a way out. And usually, you find your way out when you scream and you shout. I want you to get outside of your heads, guys. I'm going to try to get outside of mine with you, and we are going to continue to evolve together.